My neighbor's child is always crying for either his mom or dad. So if you listen to that in the background, I'm sorry. I cannot do anything about it, sadly. But this is my wrap up of May. Finally, June is here. I don't know why I'm happy because I don't want summer to arrive. I do like summer, but it's so hot already and it's only spring. Oh my god, that child is screaming. So there's many books, so I'm gonna get right into it and let's talk about the books I read this month. Okay, so I wrote it down in paper for some reason. I still don't know why. And I didn't know how to cut the page. So yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so the first book I read was an arc. Well, actually, I was reading. Oh my god, I made a mistake. I read the wrong book because they're kind of similar. Okay, now I'm back. So I was reading Jane Eyre, but I interrupted in the middle of reading Jane Eyre. Like I was in the middle, I think, of the book. And I said, wait, I just got approved for an arc of one of my favorite authors. And I said, I'm gonna read this book. The book is My Mechanical Romance by... Okay, so I don't... She's Olivia Blake when she's writing like adult books, just like B. Schwab is Victoria Schwab, but the name she uses is like Alexin Foam, something like that. I will not even try. But yeah, I got an arc in NetGalley. So yeah, that book came out the last day of May. To me it's yesterday, but I don't know when I'm going to post this video. So yeah, just so you know, it's already out. That's the point. And you can go read it, and it's so good. I gave it 5 stars. It's a YA romance, and it's academic rivals to lovers technically, and it's telling us the story of Belle and Theo. And so Mateo and Belle, she's Isabella, I think, if I'm not wrong, but people call her Belle, and she just moved to another school because of reasons you'll learn when you read the book. And so yeah, she's in a new school and she meets so many people, and a teacher discovered she has talents for robotics and stuff like that. And so this school is like very centered in robotics and engineering, blah blah blah, you know the deal. And so they like the STEM, that's the best way to describe it. And so they, like, the teacher says, you have to join this advanced class. And oh my god, what's happening out there? So yeah, so she joins the class, but there's Theo, and Theo is like the king of all the geniuses. And so he's popular, he's rich, and yeah, that's basically the story. And it's like her like bringing not chaos, but like making things different and proving to him like you don't have to carry the whole team in your back, because he's like stressed because he has to carry so many people in his back. And yeah, I really like the book. The banter was excellent. This is one of my favorite romances, and I don't usually enjoy YA romance. Like ever since I became an adult, I don't enjoy it. But since they're like in their last year, they felt closer, and also it's so enjoyable. Like you don't even think about like, okay, they're minors, and I was like, well, they're 18 I think at one point. But I was like, oh, you know, I usually am like, oh, yeah, I don't want to read about children. But it was really enjoyable. And I will recommend it to anyone that's in high school. And also, if you're an adult that enjoys romance and doesn't like the spice that romances have. Like, nowadays, the books rely only in the smut. Romances, like so many recent romances, are relying only on the smut, and you need to really write your book. I'm going to talk about an author I read that really writes her books, and also one that it's basically the smut. Like I decided that I maybe don't enjoy her books. I don't even know, I'm not sure. Okay, whatever. So then after finishing in one day unless then one day my mechanical romance, I came back to Jane Eyre. As you can see, she's not skinny. Okay, so there's not many annotations, you'll think, but I was writing on it, so there's annotations. Okay, I will try to find one. Do you forgive me, Jane? Oh my god, that fucking bitch Heathcliff. Oh, why did I say Heathcliff? Rochester. Why did I say Heathcliff? I'm sorry. The one book I mixed up and brought instead of this one was Wuthering Heights. You know I love Wuthering Heights. I did like this one. I gave it a 4.5, even though I think it deserves a 5. But it's kind of long, and I felt like it didn't have to be that long. Like Wuthering Heights, it's shorter, and I enjoyed it more. And I know I shouldn't be comparing sisters, but you know I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry. And now I'm gonna compare every classic that I read with Wuthering Heights. So that's just lovey. After that, I read Book Lovers. This is the author I wanted to talk about. So Emily Henry does not rely on the smut. She really writes stories. She develops the characters. It's so enjoyable, everything she writes. And so we're following this story. I already talked a lot about this book, but I'm gonna keep talking about it. So this story develops around Nora and Charlie. It's his name, Charlie. Yeah. Oh my god. And he's one of my favorite love interest in any book. And so we follow her story, but also he's not left behind. We know about him and about his issues and his insecurities. And this is the first book that I think I really enjoyed, like Emily Henry's book, that I enjoyed all the way through. And I love the two main characters. Even though I love People Moving on Vacation, I love the two characters. I didn't like the miscommunication trope and the almost ending. Yeah, that was not it. And in Beach Read, I don't hate January, but she's kind of boring at times. Okay, oh my god, my head is sweating. Okay, so I'm gonna take it off. The take it off. I'm changing Taylor songs. Can you ignore me? Whatever. So Redwater, oh my god, I was saying my next book. So, okay, so Book Lovers was so enjoyable. 5 stars, immediately. They're not academic rivals technically. They're work. Okay, so it's about 2 characters, and yeah, they're work in the same place, but they met before and they didn't get along, and they find each other again. And so this book is basically a love letter to older sisters. So if you're older siblings in general, so if you're an older sibling, I think you will really enjoy this one. I cannot, I heard people say it. I'm not an older sister. I'm a younger sister. And I've been trying to get my sister to read it, and she doesn't want to because she's a dumb bitch. But I'm gonna get her to read it once I get my physical copy. And I hope it's the Red, White, and Royal Blue one. Yeah, that's the next book I'm going to talk about. But it was really enjoyable anyways. I think so many people could enjoy this book. So if you are interested in romance, give it a chance. And Emily Henry will never disappoint. At this point, Beach Read, People Moving on Vacation, Book Lovers, it only gets better. I can trust her blindly. I'm gonna. After that, okay, so I'm on a book club now technically, and so they read this month Red, White, and Royal Blue, but I already read that book last year in May, so I decided to reread it with them and now annotate my copy, which wasn't annotated, and so I used blue and red and pink. So yeah, I don't have red post-its, sadly. And I already talked a lot about this book, I think, in another video. But you know the story, the first son of the United States, a prince of England, and they fall in love, blah blah blah, discovering sexuality. I'm covering Henry, I'm sorry. And now we are on Pride Month, so this book, okay, so let me say it. This book is overhyped. I don't want to say overhyped. This book is very hyped, and I know, oh yeah, it's so beautiful to read about a queer romance. Yeah, but especially, people always talk about how men fetishize lesbians, sapphic relationships, and I know, believe me, I know, and I fucking hate men, but also straight women sexualizing male loves male relationships. Like, what's with the straights? They need to stop, honestly. And so this book is enjoyable, and I really like it. It helped me a lot to read about Alex and how he's figuring out everything, and I really appreciate it. But if you're going to fetishize it, like, don't read it, drop the book. Like, I don't want, do anything else, donate to a charity, I don't even know. Like, don't read queer books if you're going to fetishize it. If you, I love like male loves male, and do you read women loves women? No, you don't. So that's, think about it. If you for some reason don't like women loves women and you're a woman, I'm sorry, if you're a woman, yeah, you gotta check it out. Check it out. I'm sorry, I went crazy on that. Whatever. So after that, I decided to read a sequel that I haven't read. I think came out this year, and it's Hook, Line, and Sinker. That's the sequel. It's technically standalone, but it's also connected to It Happened One Summer. And well, this book is proof that not every book needs a sequel. I didn't love It Happened One Summer, but Hook, Line, and Sinker was like, I liked it enough to read a second book. But I really enjoyed Hannah as a side character, and now we have her as a main character. So yeah, this follows the story of the sister of the first book, and the best friend of the love interest, and they didn't do it for me. Like, their whole relationship was sex, and she was only like, It Happened One Summer had more blood. I cannot believe it, but it even had Wild Child vibes. But fucking Hook, Line, and Sinker was like, it has great writing because the author is a great writer, but I'm sorry, Tessa, baby, you're not doing it. And the last book I read for her was Window Shopping, and I hated it too. It only had good smut, and that's not enough for me. I am a sexual. I'm not looking for smut. I'm looking for great stories, but I had it coming because obviously it's going to have smut because that's a common theme in Tessa Bailey's book. And I don't know if I will ever read another book from her, which is sad because, yeah, it's sad. It's only sad because, yeah, I really enjoyed, well, I kind of enjoyed It Happened One Summer, and I was hoping for a better book this time. And I really liked Fox in the previous book, so I gave it 3 stars. Oh yeah, I gave Red, White, and Royal Blue 5 stars again. I don't want to talk much about it. Everyone knows about Red, White, and Royal Blue. So yeah, Hook, Line, and Sinker 3 stars, and I think I gave it more than it deserved because it left me wanting. After that, I read A Man Called Uwe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I'm trying, okay? I know it's Swedish, and I watched Young Royals, so I know. I'm kidding, okay? I did watch Young Royals, but I don't know Swedish, and I watched it in the original language, obviously, with subtitles, because I don't know Swedish yet. I want to learn Swedish. Really want to, and more after reading A Man Called Uwe, because I want to read it in the original language. And so I thought this book wasn't going to make me cry, and like the last pages had me like, if you watch Hannah, like Clockwork Reads, she was crying like in the last pages. She did a video and read this book, and how she was crying, that was how I started crying, and I couldn't like look at the book, and my sister was like, it made you cry, and I was like, yeah, but it's the ending, you guys. And so another YouTuber that I follow, named, like, her YouTube is Throne of Pages, she's named Isabella. She talked about how this book is like a more heartbreaking version of Up, the Pixar movie. So yeah, that was basically how Man Called Uwe felt. I was giving it 4.7, I think, but when I read that, I was like, okay, I gotta give it the 5. And I really like Parvane, like the neighbor. She's an icon. The cat, oh my god, and the 2 kids, like Parvane's daughters, like They're so funny, especially the little one. Like the older one is emo, but the younger one, she was so crazy. Like, and yeah, it was really enjoyable. And I want to cry thinking about it, so I'm gonna jump right to the next because I don't want to try it again talking about that book. And so I have here in my notes like it made me ugly cry. So yeah. I always ugly cry. I never like pretty cry, but yeah, that's I don't know why I wrote that down. So after that, finally another physical one. I read another classic because I'm unhinged, and I read more classics. Like this is not the last one, and so yeah, also annotated it. So something you need to know about this book is that I wanted to read it. I wanted to read it for so long because like Chain of Gold and Chain of Iron, like the Last Hours trilogy, is kind of inspiring this. And reading it, I realized how much they have in common. Like it's outstanding. And there were so many quotes that I wanted to hear, like read. And there's Tatiana. There's Tatiana. I mean Miss Havisham. Yeah, that bitch. She looks like a cadaver. Oh my god, that's disgusting. Disgusting. And yeah, you don't see many tabs because I was like underlining too. I only put tabs when they deserve it. Like there, I underlined, but I didn't put a tab. And yeah, 4.6 stars. I really enjoyed it. And it was not a fast, but neither slow read. It was like steady, and I liked the pacing. There were moments I was like, okay, this is boring, but then there's a plot twist that I really enjoyed. And even though I read in the back, I didn't know the plot twist. I don't know why. Like it's technically maybe it's not as big a plot twist as I thought, but I went into this book without knowing anything. And I really like how it begins, like saying my father's family name being Pierre and my Christian name being Philip, my infant son could make of both names nothing longer or more explicit than Pip. So I called myself Pip and came to be called Pip. After that, okay, so this is the last time. This is the last time I'm saying. I don't want to promise anything, but it's supposed to be the last time I'm showing you this book. And so what did you read? I read Salome, which is a play that's originally in French that Oscar Wilde wrote. Okay, I was scratching my nose, I'm sorry. And so Salome, I read it in English because here it's in English and I don't know French, or I don't know enough French. You know, Duolingo, I'm kidding. And yeah, I read Salome and I really enjoy it. Salome, it has a accent. How do you say that in English? Like when it has a tilde? I don't know, but yeah, it has like the thing we use in Spanish, French, Portuguese. Yeah. So, oh my god, no, I hated Salome. Why am I saying? Yeah. So 1 star. It was awful. It was racist. It was like this is proof that Oscar Wilde is a man. It was a white man. Like. And what else did I wrote down? Yeah, I put like, Oscar, you okay, baby? And yeah, he's basically racist as fuck, and I will like not recommend at all to read it, even as a joke, even like, oh yeah, I want to see it. No, don't read it. Really, don't read it. I will not recommend that to anyone. So I don't want to dwell on that. After that, I read Othello because I wanted to read a better play, and it delivered as promised, and it basically became my emotional support Shakespearean tragedy. I gave it 5 stars, obviously. I really liked Othello. Yeah, the reason I read it was basically because of the quote, like jealousy, the green-eyed monster, beware of jealousy. Okay, I was pronouncing it right. Oh, beware, my lord, of jealousy. It is the green-eyed monster which doth mock the meat it feeds on. So, Iago, it's a fucking bitch, okay? But he was an intelligent bitch. Last night with my sister, we watched The Tragedy of Macbeth with Denzel Washington, and how they portrayed like the witches. I was like, I want to see more adaptations like this. So yeah, nothing like 10 Things I Hate About You, but that's a too high a standard, and I get it. It's impossible. After Othello, oh yeah, if you don't know what's Othello about, it's basically, I didn't talk about Salome because I will not recommend it, but basically Iago, it's like there's this character called Iago, and he's jealous of the main character Othello, and so he basically starts manipulating, telling him like your wife is cheating on you. You get it. And so he basically gets him to murder his wife. I don't know if that's a spoiler. Yeah, no. And then he kills himself. If you don't know about Othello at this point, like, I was looking if it was a spoiler, but it's not. Because everyone knows about, like, how many years it's been out. If you, like, I already knew, and I read it anyways, and I enjoyed it. So, yeah. After that, I read Mujeres del Alma Mía, de Isabella Allende. This is my first book by Isabella Allende. And it's basically a memoir, non-fiction, and it tells the story of part of her life. She talks about a lot of stuff, and even though I only gave it 4 stars because it felt a lot like white feminism. Really? Okay, it felt a lot like it's white feminism, and I also felt like she doesn't know enough about LGBTQ plus community to be talking about it. It also had so much great writing, and I do appreciate it. And also, she's so old, and even though I believe that people, no matter the age, can be open about all topics, I felt like it was like it has great writing. And what else did I like? What else did I put in my notes? I want to read another memoir from her called, like, it's Paula. It's about her daughter that died. And also I want to read her fiction work. I want to read La Casa de los Espíritus, Hija de Fortuna. I think that there's another one. I don't know. Violeta, maybe. So yeah, but first La Casa de los Espíritus, because it's like about spirits. So yeah, I want to read it. After that, I read Passing. If you don't know, okay, so Passing, it's basically the story about these 2 women that pass as white. They're black and they pass as white. And it's like historical fiction, I think, technically. It has a movie on Netflix that I haven't watched yet. And I don't know if the movie will be better, but it was not as good as I thought. And after reading The Vanishing App, I was expecting so much. Maybe if I read it first, I would like it more and given it more than 3 stars. But I didn't read it first, and so it was not enough, sadly. It was very underwhelming, and like the fast pacing, I didn't like it a lot. And the ending left me like, what is happening?
What? This is crazy.
That's me while reading this book. And then I read, for some reason, Brokeback Mountain. It's in Roddy's Gilmore's list. I didn't know it was a book or a short story, so I read it, and it's basically identical to the book, to the movie. And I really enjoyed it, kinda. But is the author a straight woman? Because I am so tired of reading about straight women writing about queer people, and there's another book in this list about a straight woman writing about not only queer people but queer men. So yeah, you'll see. I don't know if she's straight, so don't crucify me if she's not. After that, I read Persuasion, another classic, my second Austen book and my favorite so far. I love it more than Sense and Sensibility, if that's even possible. It's a second chance romance, and I like this so much that I'm gonna do, like, I discovered I like the second chance romance, and I'm going to do a video giving Rex about second chance romance. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars, obviously. Oh yeah, Brokeback Mountain, I gave it 4, and Persuasion was amazing. Can I say that? Yeah. Even though I didn't relate to an alien, like, she's kind of not similar to me, but she had like there's so many good quotes, and I loved the book. It's fucking Jane Austen. Like, do I have to explain it? I cannot wait to read Emma, and finally Pride and Prejudice. I want to read it when I find a copy. So yeah. After Persuasion, I read One for My Enemy. That's a Olivia Blake book. Olivia Blake. And I'm sorry, you guys. It took me so long to read first. And it was not it. I give it 3.7 because it has a great plot. And it has a great story. And it has romance. But it's like... it's a standalone fantasy, but it felt like we needed more. Like, it needed to be a series, not a standalone. And so that's why I didn't like it that much. But I did enjoy it at times, but I wanted to cry so many times. And so yeah, it not the best standalone, and I heard about better standalones, like fantasy standalones. I read fantasy standalones that like manage to tell a story and develop the plot, develop the characters. Like, I even read about a corruption arc, Heartless, that it's a freaking standalone, and it's like, it's amazing. So it can be done, but if you like, if the author cannot do it, it's okay. Just do what you're good at, okay? Or practice so you're good at other things and can do them. So that's what I think. And I love Olivia. I gotta speed up. So yeah, I read Sadie after that, which people say the audiobook is good, and I mean, I agree. I cannot listen to audiobooks only when I read books. I have, like, if I listen to an audiobook, I have to read the book while I listen because my brain won't concentrate in audiobooks. So yeah, I read it physically too. Well, like in my iPad. And I really enjoyed it. 5-star. Well, I didn't enjoy it because it's so fucking sad, but it's really great. And the audiobook was really like it had even intros and stuff. Like, I think you cannot read this book if you do not listen to the audiobook, because it makes so much sense. It's like a podcast. And so yeah, I cried a lot again. This is also for older. If you see me looking to the side, a door just slammed in my house. So this book gave me the idea, along with the book lovers, to do a playlist to the older, not only older sisters, but all the lost girls in general. And so I'm making it still. It's not that long, the playlist, but I saw that I didn't find one playlist about Sadie, and so I decided to do a playlist about it. It's called Hope You're Okay, like the song by Olivia Rodrigo. So yeah, I hope that you're okay. I just want to say that poor Sadie, that girl, deserves a break. After that, I read a physical book that I had for almost a year, I think. I have it since 2021. Since July 2021. So, yeah. I didn't know it was in England. Like, it's British. I really enjoyed The Girl on the Train. I have my annotations. I didn't write down on it, but I think I put post-it. It wasn't this one. No, I didn't put post-it. That's all I have. I didn't write because I didn't know if I would like it, but I did like it, and I gave it 5 stars, and I'm so thankful I bought it, even though it's the movie cover, but it's pretty enough. And yeah, it was really enjoyable. It's like people say, after reading Sadie, I read this one. So it's like a Gone Girl, but fast, like less slow. And it has like Sadie, but for older people, because Sadie, it's YA. So this is an adult Sadie mixed with a Gone Girl. And it has the perfect amount of thrill, the perfect amount of mystery, and I really like that. And I think I will recommend it either for Halloween, because yeah, this is good. Oh my god, why are my neighbors screaming? And after The Girl on the Train, I said like one of my goals is to read all of my physical books, and so I read another of the books I bought this year I bought it in January. Like, I haven't bought a book since January, and we're already in June. So I don't have money. That's why I'm good at not buying books. But this is the book. Can you tell that I really enjoyed it? And I even have, this is the one I have posted in. I can only find the last page, but I have another post. Oh my god, I found it. So if you don't know what oh my god, I didn't say what any of these books were about. Sadie, it's about like a sister, like Sadie's sisters is killed, and she's trying to avenge her sister. And meanwhile, we're following like a podcast that's telling, like, following the story of what happened to Sadie. And so yeah, that's what Sadie's about. It's just super fast paced, the book, and it's great writing. The Girl on the Train, it's about like this girl that she always gets on a train, and she sees a couple from a train, but one day she sees something that changes her, like makes her get off the train, like makes her curious, and she cannot let it be without like intervening and stuff. She also has a lot of shit to deal with. And yeah, and The Godfather, if you haven't watched the movie or read the book, it's basically the story of a family. It's basically about the mafia underworld, and we are following the corruption arc of Michael Corleone. He's basically the younger boy in the family because he has a younger sister, and he's always said like he's not going to join like the family that's like the mafia family, like the criminal organized crime family. And he's always said like, I'm not going to join that, that's not my thing. And so the Godfather, it's his dad, his father. But circumstances, as I will talk about in my corruption arc video, which is coming out after this, I think, is they're not in his control, and so in the end he has to get a little dirty with the mafia. So yeah, that was oh my god, it sounds like a fucking like dark romance. It is not. Like, this book, it's not a romance. And it had like a part that I was like, this was not necessary. It had many parts, so beware. But I did give it 5 stars, and I did enjoy it. I'm gonna go fast with the last 3 books, which I read like in 2 days, the 3 of them. I read The Queen's Gambit. If you haven't watched the show, it's basically about this prodigy cat. She's called Beth Harmon, and she's excellent in chess, and we are following her since she's little, and she goes to an orphanage until she's like older. I think she has 21 by the end of the book or something like that, or 19, I don't remember, but yeah, she's an adult. And we're following her, like she competes because like her obsession is chess. And I read Animal by Lisa Tadeo, I don't know how to pronounce that in English. And so this book, I still don't know what is it about. I gave The Queen's Gambit 5 stars. Animal, I still don't know how many. Like, I have in my rating, I wrote down like, what is Animal? I wrote down like no idea, because I don't know what to rate it. The audiobook, which I had to listen because I couldn't read the book without the audiobook, and I couldn't listen to the audiobook without the book. It was narrated by Emma Roberts, so I'm biased because I do love my Emma Roberts, and I enjoyed hearing her tell me a story. But also, it's not that good, but it's not that bad, and it's angry women, and it falls into that morally gray area when I don't know what rating. I never not known what rating to give a book, so you can understand my struggle. And last but not least, I read another book about gay men written by a straight woman, which is My Policeman. I gave it 4.5, and I only read it because Harry Styles is doing a movie about it, like based on the book. And so yeah, and it also will have Emma Corrin, the one from the Crown. Did I say it right? I think she's in the Crown. She's Lady D, right? Like Lady Diana. oh my god, people say Diana outside of my country, right? And at least the director we are getting for the show, it's gay, and also like Emma, she's queer, and the other love interest, it's also queer. Oh yeah, Emma uses like pronouns she, they, and the other character, it's the actor, I think he uses he, him, and he is gay or queer. He only said queer. I don't know. Wikipedia it says he, him, and he says LGBTQ plus community. So yeah, and I don't know what to say. Like, oh yeah, the director is from Yorkshire. So yeah, he's basically from England, and they're all English. So I'm just hoping it's amazing. Oh my god, I forgot to say about the Queen's Gambit before I go. That in the moment someone's telling like the main character she's a prodigy, right? And I love the refreshing thought of seeing a main character that's a prodigy, that it's not doubting herself, like she knows she's good. And in one moment she wins, I don't know what is it she wins, and she says like, I could have done it at 8. Well, she thinks it. And it's refreshing to see them like a gifted child knowing how good they are and like enjoying it. So yeah, that's everything I have to say about my books. This video is going to be fucking long, and I hate that. But what are you gonna do? I cannot keep saying quoting things, because then I will want to pull the video, and it's going to be like my last video. I was almost not able to post it because it had copyrights, and it was not going to be able to be seen in like 2 countries, and one of the countries was my country, so I didn't post it. I changed it, I'm sorry. Okay, I really hope you enjoyed this video. See ya.